Wedge pattern in astrology explained. TheAstroKing. Wedge pattern. The wedge pattern, often called an easy wedge, is a specialized triangular aspect configuration in Western astrology that bridges tension and harmony into a focused outlet. It is formed when two opposing planets, 180 degrees, are both connected to a third focal apex planet, one via a trine, 120 degrees, and the other via a sextile, 60 degrees. Like a wedge driving into a surface, this pattern takes the raw friction of an opposition and channels it through the apex planet, providing a clear path for growth, creative integration, and purposeful achievement. What is a wedge pattern? A wedge pattern is a three-planet configuration formed when an opposition is mediated by a focal third planet. The pattern combines the direct tension and awareness of an opposition, 180 degrees, with the supportive flow of a trine, 120 degrees, and a sextile, 60 degrees. Unlike purely harmonious configurations that can lead to passive comfort, the wedge pattern contains an internal spark. The opposition provides the driving motivation, while the apex planet offers the practical mechanism to resolve the tension. Opposition, 180 degrees, creates core awareness, polarization, and motivating tension. Trine, 120 degrees, offers smooth talent flow and natural integration to one end of the opposition. Sextile, 60 degrees, provides curiosity, opportunity, and active communication to the other end. Focal apex planet serves as the releasing valve where tension transforms into constructive expression. Why the wedge pattern matters. Astrologers value the wedge pattern because it acts as an intrinsic dynamic solver within the birth chart. An opposition alone can feel like a perpetual tug of war between two opposing life areas. However, the focal apex planet in a wedge pattern provides a third perspective, offering a natural solution to bridge the divide. Individuals with a wedge pattern often develop exceptional diplomacy, problem-solving skills, and focus talent because they naturally learn how to harmonize conflicting forces. Core structural breakdown. To verify an exact easy wedge pattern in a natal chart, check for these geometric criteria. 1. Core tension axis. Planet A forms an exact 180 degrees opposition with planet B. 2. Focal apex point. Planet C sits at a point in the zodiac that connects both ends. 3. Trine link. Planet C forms a 120 degrees trine with planet A. 4. Sextile link. Planet C forms a 60 degrees sextile with planet B, $120 carat, circ plus 60 carat, circ equals 180 carat, circ dollar. Wedge pattern geometry. The wedge pattern creates an asymmetric triangle across the zodiac wheel. The opposition forms the base of tension across the chart, while the apex planet sits off to one side, forming the point of the wedge. Energy flows from the high-pressure opposition axis toward the apex planet, which translates friction into actionable skill. Opposition base equals raw friction, objective awareness, and driving motivation. Trine plus sextile sides equals constructive channels for releasing energy. Focal apex point equals specialized talent and personal growth outlet. Wedge pattern versus other aspect patterns. While triangular, the wedge pattern differs structurally from other major chart patterns. Wedge pattern. Contains 1 opposition plus 1 trine plus 1 sextile. 3 planets. Integrates tension into ease. Grand trine. Contains 3 trines. 3 planets. Pure harmony with no built-in tension axis. Kite pattern. Contains 1 grand trine plus 1 opposition plus 2 sextiles. 4 planets. A larger, dual wedge structural pattern. T-square. Contains 1 opposition plus 2 squares. 3 planets. Higher internal friction requiring active work. Strengths and potential challenges. The core strength of the wedge pattern is its ability to turn life challenges into specialized mastery. The opposition ensures the individual never stays complacent, while the trine and sextile ensure they have the innate tools to resolve conflicts. Individuals with this pattern frequently act as mediators or strategic thinkers because they understand opposing viewpoints. The primary challenge lies in leaning too heavily on the focal apex planet, occasionally overusing its style of expression to escape dealing directly with the underlying opposition. Exceptional ability to focus energy and resolve complex problems. Natural talents energized by realistic, real-world motivation. Strong capacity for objectivity, diplomacy, and synthesis. Continuous personal development through active self-awareness. Potential challenge. Over-relying on the apex planet as an escape valve. Potential challenge. Feeling internally split prior to integrating the apex planet. Planetary interpretation in a wedge pattern. When reading a wedge pattern, the planet acting as the focal apex indicates the primary mode of resolution. The apex planet shows how the individual actively synthesizes the opposing energies at the base of the triangle. Sun focal apex resolves tension through self-expression, identity, leadership, and purpose. Moon focal apex resolves tension through emotional intuition, nurturing, and psychological reflection. Mercury focal apex resolves tension through communication, strategy, learning, and objective analysis. Venus focal apex resolves tension through diplomacy, artistic expression, value alignment, and social connection. Mars focal apex resolves tension through direct action, decisiveness, initiative, and physical output. Jupiter focal apex resolves tension through philosophical expansion, wisdom, belief systems, and perspective. Saturn focal apex resolves tension through discipline, patience, structural boundary setting, and practical strategy. Uranus focal apex resolves tension through objective innovation, original thinking, and reframing. Neptune focal apex resolves tension through creative imagination, empathy, and spiritual integration. Pluto focal apex resolves tension through psychological transformation, self-mastery, and deep inquiry. Example: step-by-step aspect geometry. Consider a birth chart with 3 planets forming a precise easy wedge. Planet A. Base 1. Sun at 10 degrees Aries. Planet B. Base 2. Saturn at 10 degrees Libra. Focal apex planet C. Mercury at 10 degrees Gemini. Geometry check. 1. Core opposition axis. Sun at 10 degrees Aries, Saturn at 10 degrees Libra equals exact 180 degrees opposition. Tension between personal desire, initiative, and duty. Boundaries. 2. Trine channel. Saturn at 10 degrees Libra, Mercury at 10 degrees Gemini equals exact 120 degrees trine. 3. Sextile channel. Sun at 10 degrees Aries, Mercury at 10 degrees Gemini equals exact 60 degrees sextile. Interpretation. The Sun-Saturn opposition creates an internal struggle between impulse, Aries, and structure, responsibility, Libra. Mercury at 10 degrees Gemini serves as the focal apex wedge point. The individual resolves the tension through objective communication, tactical problem solving, writing, and intellectual flexibility. How to interpret a wedge pattern in a natal chart. To interpret a wedge pattern effectively during chart analysis, follow these steps. 1. Identify the two opposing planets forming the 180 degrees tension base. 2. Locate the focal apex planet connected by the 120 degrees trine and 60 degrees sextile. 3. Analyze the sign polarity and elemental qualities involved. 4. Examine the houses occupied by all three planets to identify the specific life domains. 5. Guide the chart holder on using the apex planet as a conscious resolution tool. Wedge pattern in personal development. In evolutionary astrology, the wedge pattern highlights a key developmental lesson. The opposition brings unconscious conflicts to light through relationships and external life events. By consciously leaning into the gifts of the focal planet, the individual transforms recurring life friction into a source of enduring mastery and strength.